Well, I got to know that I had hemophilia when I was 3 months old. I had my first bleed due to inflammation in one of my wrists. Doctors were uncertain of what I had at the moment, so they frantically tried all sorts of different medications to figure out what I had.
My dad had died when I was 3 years, so I wasn't familiar with that and didn't know that he had hemophilia. When Nikolai was 3 months old, he showed signs. 1 minute. And one day my mom said she remembered my father saying that he had the Christmas tree. That's all he told her.
At that time, they didn't know that the name wasn't hemophilia in Trinidad, it was Christmas tree. So when they heard it was Christmas tree, then they decided to diagnose me based on what they had heard.
And from then, we were able to start getting the treatment.
I've only been in Trinidad for the last 6 months. Although I am Trinidadian, most of my practice has been in the United Kingdom. Now, some of the differences in Trinidad compared to the UK is we may not have every test available or every treatment available, but I think what works better down here is there's a more personal or human relationship between colleagues. And you really need that when you work within a team. Collaboration, I think, is the most important thing in healthcare. People put a lot of emphasis on the doctors and the nurses, but we can't do our job without having, we have pharmacists, we have administrative staff, we have physiotherapists, occupational therapists, and so on. But because they're behind closed doors, they work in a silo often and they don't get the credit that they deserve. Without them, we would not know anything about patients with hemophilia. So collaboration really is key. We need to work together. It probably is the most important thing in any aspect of healthcare.
Treatment is always on demand. So with Nikolai, he has always been in the hospital 3 times, 4 times a week. And most of his bleeds were at night. So mostly 11, 12 o'clock we are leaving here and having to go to the hospital to get factor.
I was able to continue school, but it was very hard due to while everyone was in school and every day there was school, I missed a lot of the sessions. But I still ended up passing school and coming to the current school that I'm going to now.
Access to treatments can be tricky. And the reason that is, one is the cost of treatment, but then the other thing is that treatment approved in Trinidad? Is it regulated? What source are we getting the treatment from? And that really limits what we can give patients sometimes, even though we know that there is a treatment available for them. And that is why having an institution or federation like the World Federation for Hemophilia to actually help countries like Trinidad and Tobago access those treatments is very important, because there are barriers there. Things can sometimes get very bureaucratic, for want of a better word, and sometimes the processes might be a bit outdated and they might take time to change. So having the WFH on board really helps with access.
Since I have got treatment at home, which was 8 to 7 years ago, it has made a major improvement in my life. Because while I used to have to go to the hospital every single day for prophylactic treatment and having to skip school and coming to school late, it has made a better impact and it has overall helped me to further reduce the amount of bleeds in my body, in which I can stop them before they even happen.
Mikhail can do more than what Nikolai could have done. Mikhail could play football, he does more running, more wild things that the boys will do.
His experience and my experience are very different because he got his factor at home. It feels good to know that he could do things that I wasn't able to do. He could be able to be more active and more free.
It's no longer a life sentence, and the future is bright.
I would like to thank the government of Trinidad and Tobago for allowing us to get the medication. I would like to thank the Society of Inherited Severe Blood Disorders, and I would also like to thank the World Federation of Hemophilia, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to get the recommended medications. So I'd like to give a proper thank you to them.
Thank you.